partners that have been working with the technology and just sort of gain some of their insights. So if we could have Dave Bainum come up on the stage, and Aaron Booker, Ben Johnson, Teddy Lawhead. I'm also going to have Dave Rasconi from my team join me. Dave, while everybody's coming up here, is responsible for OnPlus. So he's got the engineering and product management in my team at Cisco to drive the whole direction here. So, excellent.
There, a little bit closer.
Oh, okay. Made a big difference in the in our network, and as we started to monitor clients' networks, having real network focus. We had a great RMM tool, but we didn't have the information we got from OnPlus.
Ben Johnson, Griffin, Georgia, Liberty Technology. Actually, when I was first exposed to OnPlus, I was really like, we've already got that. But after demoing it and actually deploying it, it actually solved some pretty important business problems really, really quickly.
Teddy Lawhead, Atlanta, Georgia, with Cbeyond. And with my initial experience, the first time I saw the product was yesterday. And one of the biggest things that stood out to me, and I was going through some of the hands-on training, was just the people that are working on this product. And I'm just going to throw out a couple of names. Robert Wyatt is one of the engineers, I believe, working on this. Mark Bresniger, I think, is also one of the product managers working on this. And Dave Rasconi, who's up here with us as well. But it was really impressive just to hear how much they were truly listening to everybody's feedback in the room. And you could tell whether it was them taking notes or just really taking it to heart. It was just really impressive that this is not a product that they just want to roll out and just sell it on their name alone. They're really trying to cater this to the small business space. And so it was just really impressive to see how their team is trying to work with us to make this an effective solution for our customers.
Yeah, thanks for that. Hi, I'm Dave Rasconi. I'm the director for the OnPlus program for Cisco. And I thought I'd say how much fun it's been and how great it is to work with you all and hear directly from the people who are working with our products on a daily basis about OnPlus and about SBTG products in general. It's been a great couple of days in Vegas, and thank you all.
So the next kind of topic, and just take it every way we want, whoever wants to go, it doesn't necessarily have to be in such perfect order, is, what do you think OnPlus will do to help the bottom line of your business? Do you really think that the kinds of things I've been saying here this morning, does that play? Be honest. I mean, does it play out or not?
So one of the things mentioned was mobility, and one of the really powerful features that we've used is the iPhone or iPad client. So I've literally been sitting in a restaurant, got a request of, we need a port open on a router, and I've been able to, through their cloud-based portal, redirect and actually manage the router while I'm sitting there eating with my wife, which I'm really appreciate. Who hadn't done that?
We all know what that's like.
And I would say that just the ability to manage not just Cisco devices, but other devices, so you have access to, you have all the IPs get harvested, so you can just log in, put in your credentials, and use not just Cisco devices, but all devices on your network, and being able to monitor that, manage them remotely, without having to RDP in through a server and so on. Just direct access is great.
Yeah, I think it's also important to remember one of the things mentioned earlier, which is trying to be proactive, not reactive, and to avoid downtime and outages and other things like that. That also greatly affects the bottom line, whether it's your individual practice or your customer's practice. I mean, crashes and downtimes are expensive and embarrassing, right? I mean, actually, we just created a little blog just for crashes. Come to our website, you'll see some photos on the way out here, in fact. But this device can help prevent those kinds of things, kind of to the point raised earlier in the keynote, because you can be the hero, and it just is smooth sailing. Because if you have to roll the truck, or if you have to explain why did something go down, and why weren't you able to prevent it from going smooth, that's a good position to be in.
Go ahead.
On the business model side, you may think, wow, this is probably a pretty expensive solution. Well, I can tell you, if you buy one of these from D&H, they're shipping now, OnPlus, just go to D&H, type it in. It's under $5 a month, effectively. It's under $180 for a 3-year solution. That includes the appliance and the service. The appliance goes bad, for some reason, never had one go bad. But if that happened, they would replace it. It'd be warranty included. So you're talking about $5 a month with insurance, charging $100 a month, $200 a month, manage that network. So really outstanding business model.
And one other quick thing is for site surveys or in the past when we've had to, you go in and you ask the business owner, how many PCs do you have? I don't know. So, we've literally been able to go in and plug in an OnPlus device, and by the time I'm back in the office, I've got a Visio-like diagram of their network, and we actually even used it to troubleshoot what people thought was a wireless issue, and it turned out to be their switches. So and that actually saved us hours of time.
Aaron?
Oh, I'm already wired. I can just talk.
Yeah.
Oh. well, there.
You're a priority.
Yeah, I'm just going to talk. I tell you, talk about the car mechanics' cars or the car, the cobbler's kid's shoes. This was embarrassing. I'm still technical enough to be dangerous. And Chris is running around taking photos. I remember the story, but we had some intermittent network activity. Turns out 2 devices had in the 4th octet .200, the same IP address. It's humiliating given where my career started that such a thing occurred. And it was your device that let me get the visual of that, right?
Save face?
Yeah, because you're doing this, and you're just like, what? and your device created the network map with the information, and it was humiliating, and I said I'd never reveal that in public.
Well, we're glad you're loosened up.
Let's just keep it amongst these 4 walls.
Yeah, it's all friends here.
Go on.
Too late now. Well, the other real quick thing is just really easy deployment. We've used other tools in the past to kind of get a network-centric view of things, but you're dropping a box on the network that obviously costs more than OnPlus, and there's typically hours of configuration and stuff you have to do, and a lot of information that the clients, especially if you're doing it on the sales end, they may or may not be willing to give you. But usually if you're in the door talking to them, you've got enough trust there to kind of be able to drop a box, a non-threatening little appliance on the network, and it really gives you a wealth of information from the sales side of things to be able to go in there and actually accurately quote and identify problems and identify opportunities.
I'll say one thing I'm proud of. It was interesting hearing you talk about the feature set and how it came from the partners involved. And so I got involved at the very beginning. The thing I found at the very beginning was there wasn't PSA integration. So ConnectWise and AutoTask are now part of the product, and I'm kind of proud of that. I feel like I helped build the product, and seeing that in there, that really makes a big difference because that's how we run our businesses. So again, Cisco really has in their minds how we're running our businesses. They're not trying to tell us how to do it, but how to fit in and help us with our business model. Cisco's really listening. I know some of us in here have been around. It was difficult to do business with Cisco in the past as a small partner. Today, Cisco has such a robust solution, and this is, to me, what I tell Cisco jokingly, it's kind of the gateway drug. You start using this OnPlus, and you'll start to think, maybe I should look at some other Cisco products too. They're very smart, having it be such a cost-effective and outstanding solution for managing their network. And that's a part of our businesses that a lot of us are a little weak in. We're great with servers, workstations. We're PC people first, and maybe not network people. Having to learn Wireshark, pretty complicated when you start looking at packets. Having Cisco help you with that, particularly as we start to go into things like voice over IP and video, which are much more taxing and require a lot better understanding of the network. Having a big assist from Cisco really helps with that with OnPlus.
Just to give a practical example, again from someone who saw this for the first time yesterday, my partner and I, we started out setting up and configuring a Cisco UC320 PBX, which is a small office PBX, and we were able to get through that configuration. and we had an OnPlus device there with us as well. And, we just did a little experiment, and we were able to set up a monitor on one of the voice over IP phones, and we unplugged it. And within, just a minute or two, we had email alerts that one of the phones was, having issues, and so, and really with what I do on a day-to-day basis, I really focus on, my job is really to just, develop relationships with partners and, really find things to help them succeed as a partner. And one of the things that stands out to me is, with this product is it seems to be a real enabler. And I even think about maybe new partners who are just starting out in this space. With the price point of this device and this product, it can be something that can very quickly enable a partner. Really build that credibility by giving you that view, as well as the monitoring and the up-to-date information. It can really establish you and build that credibility.
I just wanted to point out one thing. You guys are just talking about the base functionality of OnPlus at this point. And we're on an agile development life cycle, so we're doing 3-week sprints. We have monthly partner calls. So definitely get our business cards and get engaged on the monthly calls. It's about your feedback with respect to the features that go into the product. And as these guys are saying, it's about the features that you need to run your business. We have the base network monitoring and management that you need, as we've been discussing here. We're already looking to add things, more things to get you engaged with the ecosystem with respect to RMM and PSA, which we also mentioned. We're talking about a closed model app store where you'll be able to get follow-on applications and subscriptions for services to help you build your practice. So yeah, we're generating a release candidate every 3 weeks, and I encourage you all to get engaged on our monthly partner call and then provide your feedback.
One example of that is something I just saw yesterday that's just getting released either today or in 3 weeks, depending on where it is in the release cycle. I think today, but in top. And so you need to know frequently who's that heavy user in a network, who's eating the bandwidth. And so understanding who's got that, being able to visually see it in top is something that, well, of course, it's open source, all of us can set that up. It's a bit of a pain in the neck, frankly, to set up a lot of those open source tools. So now you've got a one-click install, and instantly you've got information about what's going on in your network, a really deep level, and you just click through the links and you can see who's that active user, and see their IP, and go stomp on, see what they're actually hitting on the network without, and for $5 a month, I'm just like, that's crazy cheap.
Yeah, I think that, wanted to chime in on a couple of other themes that came up. I think we heard a little bit about security and the growing importance of that. One of the things we've used OnPlus successfully for there was an actual security incident where one state client unfortunately had a caller ID spoof. Now, it ended up not being a local issue. We apparently learned that it is not illegal in this country to spoof caller ID unless you're using fraudulent intent, which unfortunately was the case. Anyways, long story short, it ended up being completely outside of the client's network. But the OnPlus device correlated with firewall logs helped us determine that. But I think this is another example of having that magic box on site can help you rapidly respond to remediate these issues. You're the hero, you look better, and you're able to help reduce the chaos and stress level. The other theme too, though, is everything wrapped around services. I think a lot of people in this room recognize the hardware helps drive the services and recurring labor and service plans and so forth. It's very, very hard to pay your bills just strictly on hardware, right? I mean, we're an eBay power seller, and I'm embarrassed to share that, but that's not how we pay our bills, right? That's just an add-on. But with something like OnPlus, you can really wrap a whole services model and service plan model around it, and then that helps you demonstrate additional value and capability compared to some of your competitors.
And I'm going to kind of move us a little towards wrap up here, just one more. Go ahead.
Well, so, and two, another thing is whether you're, an established MSP or actually looking to get into that market. If you're established and you're already using remote monitoring and management tools, OnPlus is really a great way to have kind of a trusted, cloud-based. What happens if your infrastructure goes down? Well, guess what? OnPlus is looking out for that too. I get text messages to my phone if that happens. And, and if you're just starting out, it's really inexpensive and excellent way to go in there and actually, launch your own managed service program.
You know, I just, a couple of things. Our primary research is on small businesses over the last few years is one really, really clear message is that just make this stuff work. It's basically what the small businesses were telling us. You know, we're a doctor or this or that or whatever. We don't really want to know how. We just want it to work. So that becomes you, right? And with this type of capability, if you can be more proactive, then you'll have it working a lot more often than they didn't even know there was some kind of a problem, right? So they don't even have a point of reference anymore. And most of your business comes from word of mouth, right? It's personal reference. And so the higher that equation is, it's got to translate into more referenceable business than, the guy saying, I don't know, my stuff just works and I use Bob. So call Bob. He knows how to make it work. So it's really where I'm hoping, and the feedback that we're getting from you is very strong, and I really appreciate it. But really, what we're hoping is that we're building something that you find very useful to drive your business. And all of your feedback, I can tell you, the engineers from the team in the room, it's so rewarding for them to hear from customers that are actually using this stuff, to hear the types of accolades and the feedback and the positive feedback and the, not criticism, but the suggestions that we've been getting over the last while for the engineers. That's the most exciting thing, quite honestly. So I really, really appreciate all of that. And just to bring this part to a close, what we talked about is that there's a lot of convergence going on, and that convergence is driving a whole new user experience. And that whole new user experience that's really tied around mobility and cloud is the thing that's going to adopt much more business for all of us. It's the thing to embrace. It's not the thing to be afraid of. The cloud is not the thing to be afraid of. The cloud is going to cause a lot more business in small businesses because that's where they'll get their applications from. And we can feed in behind collectively together to make the network robust and proactive and all the things we've been talking about and drive a great experience, and it's going to drive a lot more business for everybody. So that's what it's all about. I firmly believe that we're collectively on the right track. And we're always, hope you got the message, we're very open to getting the suggestions. Just one thing, this is a dedicated team in Cisco. So I've done many things in Cisco over my 17 years there. I'm 100% small business. This is what we do. So honestly, part of the reasons why you have the experience that doesn't feel like the old Cisco. The old Cisco's still there, right? And it's dealing with enterprise customers and so on and so forth. This is about small business. This is what we're here for. You've heard the old, there's the egg and the bacon in the relationship, right? I'm the bacon. Right? This is what we're all about. And really do appreciate your time this morning and really do appreciate your partnership. Thank you very much.